Hi, welcome to the Jackson Resource Center, where dreams are within reach. Meet Ed. Having tried all he knows and still living on the streets after 7 years, he's almost given up. But today, Ed was approached by one of our outreach team members who shared what a visit to JRC could do. Guess what? Ed agreed to go the next morning. It's morning. First stop is the triage, where the receptionist will assess his needs based on a brief conversation and pair Ed with a case manager, who we call success coaches. While waiting on his coach, Ed's photo will be taken and placed on his Reach ID. This card is part of the Central Mississippi Coordinated Care System used to better serve and track our clients. With new ID in hand, Ed and his coach begin planning his fresh start. Upon completion of intake, Ed's coach will have him to visit the medical wing, followed by a list of other agencies on site to get much needed documents for his journey. Once Ed has completed his rounds, he'll return to visit with his coach, who will walk him over to his new home, get him settled in, and allow Ed to rest before his early morning appointments. Excited, refreshed, and ready to go, Ed returns to JRC for his next appointment. His coach has outlined a proposed plan of action. Change begins. If you're a service provider, please consider having a presence within the Resource Center and or on the campus. We're striving to be Jackson's one-stop shop for the homeless and those threatening homelessness. If you're anyone else, business owners included, please consider partnering with the Jackson Resource Center. Every little bit changes a lot.
Hi, my name is Patalamus White, founder and CEO of the Jackson Resource Center, also known as JRC, and I'll be your narrator for this presentation. At the Jackson Resource Center, our goal is to serve Jackson with an 18-acre one-stop resource campus for Jackson's homeless and those threatening homelessness. This will be a place for people to dream again, because honestly, we are better together. With that thought in mind, JRC team members have researched the homeless population here in Jackson, in the surrounding cities, and in other states. We've talked with and documented what works and what doesn't. One campus, though, stood out and is being duplicated in cities across the U.S. This campus is Haven for Hope in San Antonio, Texas, the brainchild of Valero Oil's founder, Mr. Bill Greehey. This 27-acre campus looks and flows like a college, having every necessity within the campus perimeter. JRC seeks to duplicate the Haven for Hope here in Jackson. Having an 18-acre parcel set aside by the state of Mississippi, we have the space needed to construct a transformation campus that will change the lives of individuals and families for generations to come. By having government, state, local municipalities, nonprofits, and community agencies co-located under one roof, will better serve our no and low income population. On the animation at the beginning of this presentation, let's take a real informal virtual tour of our proposed campus layout. You have Capers Avenue that's already there. From Capers Avenue, we have Faithway. On Faithway, you'll find the triage. Volunteer services, case managers. Next door to that will be the medical building, which will include general medical, dental, vision, and a respite area for those that are still in need of hospice. And then next to that, you'll find a detox facility. So you have the strip mall that's across the street from the actual campus, but right as you come onto the campus. And it's across the street from the actual campus so that the community can still have access to the detox facility and to the medical wing should they need medical services. On the far right side would be the first stop, and that would be where the triage is located along with the case managers. In the middle you have the medical, and at the end you have the detox facility. Across the street on Capers, you have the child care facility. The child care facility is located across the street on Capers because we want the community to be able to utilize low-cost child care as well. For all the individuals and families that are located on our campus, child care will be free. So if they're living on the campus or they're having services taken care of any day of the week on the campus, they can utilize free child care across the street. Now, should anyone need to actually come onto the campus for services or to stay, they have to go through the security. Security is there to make sure that no one is bringing any weapons or paraphernalia, drugs, etc., onto the campus. Anything that could harm somebody or that's illegal. So everybody, whether walking or in a vehicle, has to pass through security. Once you get through security, you've got the food court right there front and center before you get to the transformation building or anything else on campus to make it easy access for those that are hungry so that they can go ahead and get full and then begin to get their services taken care of. The food court will be in a separate building so that there will be no interruptions in services with anything that goes on or could go on in the restaurant. And so that the smell of the foods and et cetera, will not hinder anything going on in the actual transformation building. Behind the transformation building, you have the men and women's shelter and transformational dorms. This is where individuals who are just coming to the campus will come if the case manager or success coach deems that this is the step that they need to start with, which will be shelter. One can start in the shelter and graduate from shelter to a transitional dorm, from transitional dorm to transitional housing, from transitional housing to permanent housing. So just depending on where the individual or the family is in their needs, they may be assigned to a shelter or a dorm. Both the men and women's shelters and dorms will look the same on the outside, consisting of 2 floors. These floors will consist of rooms and suites that will be in the layout of an extended stay hotel for the dorms, and for the shelter rooms, there'll be at least 2 to a room. Now we have our transformational building, which is the main part of our entire campus because this is where all the change really happens. This is where JRC administration is located, as well as our partner agencies and member services, the organizations, companies, the nonprofits, the ministries, the churches, etc., etc. We consider the DMV, vital statistics, and the Social Security Administration part of these partner services as well, just like the salon and barbershop and Dress for Success. But we have them on the left side of the building as walk-up agencies because so many individuals and families will need their services that they needed to be in a separate spot so that individuals and families could have a seat in the waiting area, in a general waiting area right outside of these as they wait to get their documents from these different agencies. Inside of member services, most of our partner agencies will be located in cubicles, whether glass cubicles or regular traditional cubicles. Depending on the size and the number of employees that are assigned to the JRC campus, our partner agencies will be located in this area, which will help us to be able to house more agencies and keep costs down. Along with the necessities, there are other conveniences located on the campus. Conveniences such as a post office, a gym, a donation center, a kennel. A lot of our homeless individuals cannot get assistance that they need from our partner agencies because they don't have an address. So we have the post office here so that they can have an address. So if they don't, even if they don't live on the campus in one of our shelter, transitional dorms, or housing units, they can still access a post office box so that they can have an address where all of their mail will go to. A gym so that they can work off some steam, or maybe they want to get fit, get back into shape. We all know how that is. A donation center for us to be able to take all of our donations into one center and have it set up as if it were a Walmart type feel so that it would be easy access and very, very presenting. The kennel is because some of our homeless and our families that come to us, they have pets, and we don't want to separate them from their pets just because they've fallen on hard times. So we'll have a kennel located on the grounds as well so that they can keep their pets. But the only stipulation is they can't drop their pets off and just forget that they're there. They have to come and check on their pets 3 times a day. So our proposed look for everything on the campus is to be bright and just cheery. So the post office and the gym have a very contemporary, up-to-date look, along with the kennel, which will be located right behind the donation center. The donation center will be basically just a metal building. So all of that is on the bottom half of the campus, which is the transformational services area. Now, on the top half of the campus, we're looking at having housing, and this is going to consist of a lot of different types of housing, not just one type of housing. We want to have transitional container homes, and the transitional container homes will be in a roommate style container homes. We propose to house a lot of our um, ex-felons, those coming out of incarceration in the transitional container homes as we work with them to get them to their next place in life. It will not be just for them, but we project that a lot of our individuals coming back into society will utilize these particular homes. We're going to have our transitional homes, tiny homes. Our tiny transitional homes and permanent homes will be mostly for our veterans. We want to have an area like this area in the middle at the top for a veterans community where our veterans can live in tiny homes, and that can be their permanent home because a lot of them don't want and cannot take care of a larger home. So all they really want is a small permanent home. And so we want to put them in community because we found that with veterans and anybody else, when you're around like, you seem to thrive more. So we want a little community street for tiny homes for the veterans and then tiny homes for other individuals going through transition. Then we'll have our permanent supportive housing for all those individuals who can live alone, but they still need some help. These units will be little apartments, 1 bedroom apartments that will be very open and airy. Hopefully, we can get some of our chronic homeless individuals who've been on the streets for 10 plus years to actually come into these apartments because they are so open and airy. And this will be their housing, and it will be permanent housing. And then we'll have our regular traditional type apartment homes that will be transitional and permanent. Why are these transitional? Because someone may go through all the stages and get to the point of where they're in an apartment home and they stay there for a certain amount of time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they decide that they want a traditional family type home, which is a single family unit, which will be located across Capers Avenue on some of the streets that dead end into Capers. We'll talk about that in another slide. Um, but these will be transitional and permanent apartment homes. They'll be apartment homes just like any other that's out there on the market, but the only difference, they'll be income based. So that's our presentation. I pray that everything was said to pique your interest and to get you on board with the Jackson Resource Center. We don't want to be the only avenue, but we want to close a lot of the gaps that are here in Jackson, and we want to give people a sense of pride, somewhere they can come to that will uplift them as they're having services done. And then we want to co-locate as many agencies and organizations as we possibly can in order for us to transition people instead of cycling them inside of a system. Transition them out of the system into productive citizens again so that they can thrive and help the next person by reaching back. All of the information to contact us is on this slide. Please, if any more questions are roaming around, please reach out to us. We would love to sit and talk with you and discuss JRC more. If you're interested, please reach out. we're in the funding stage now, and we need all the help we can get. So I thank you for your time. Have an awesome, 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 awesome rest of your day or night. Thank you.